Hello, everyone. I'm with Kristin Dubrowski, our CEO. Today we're going to be talking about Child Abuse Prevention Month and Sexual Assault Awareness Month and what Hope Horizons has been doing to respond to COVID-19. So how has Hope Horizons responded to COVID-19?
So we've been following guidance from CDC and DHEC, and as of March 18th, we started shifting our services to remote services, and then the following week we made the decision to actually close our domestic violence shelter as well and started housing folks in alternate locations. So we're doing our best to follow CDC and DHEC guidelines for social distancing, but we are doing all of our services remotely, and we're still responding to emergency requests in person. So trying to do everything as much as possible, provide the same broad array of services and same types of services that clients need and have come to expect from us, but just doing it in a different format via telehealth, through doxy.me or over the telephone. And then, as I mentioned, we do still have emergency forensic interviews and medical evaluations, and we're still providing emergency shelter and providing folks in shelter, which is now being done off-site with food and case management and all of that, following distancing guidelines.
What has been the most challenging part of COVID-19?
I think the most challenging part for us, for our team, is knowing that there are people out there who need our assistance, survivors of child abuse, domestic violence, and sexual assault, who are now potentially in much more dangerous, more precarious situations, for kids who are, not going out to school, not having those extra eyes on them, to report abuse back and to get assistance for them, for, adult victims who now may be stuck at home with their abusive partners, and same thing for kids too, just concern about there being more exposure and less ability to access help and resources and less ability to get out of the situation. And so that weighs really heavily on us. We're really concerned for folks. We want them to know that we are still here and providing services, and we've been trying to put out a lot of information on social media and on our website, hoping that folks can get some support that way. If they're not able to send an email or make a call, maybe at least they're able to know that they're not alone and that we are still here to help. So I think that's been really challenging for us. And then of course, on the other side of it, just trying to totally reinvent the service delivery model we have, that's also been really challenging, but our staff has just done amazing. A lot of really creative problem solving, and it's been really exciting to see all of the new resources that we've come up with, new ways to do services that are really going to help victims of child abuse, domestic violence, and sexual assault in the long run, and really help us make our services more accessible across the board moving forward. So that's a really positive thing about this. I think one thing that's been really rewarding is having so many community members reach out to us and say, hey, we're thinking about you. How are your clients doing? We're really worried, just knowing that there are other people in the community who are concerned about survivors of child abuse, domestic violence, and sexual assault, and really thinking about them and thinking through the potential extra danger that they might be in right now, and reaching out to Hopeful Horizons saying, hey, we're still here to support you. Let us know what you need. What do you need help with right now? And from on the financial side, having donors doing the same thing, saying, how can I help? How can I support Hopeful Horizons right now? So that's been really amazing to see, and just the network too, just across the state of other children's advocacy, domestic violence, and rape crisis centers, and then locally with other United Way agencies, just banding together and really figuring things out together has been really neat to see.
How has April been different from other years?
It's been very different than other years. So typically we would have a couple of events in recognition of Sexual Assault Awareness Month and Child Abuse Prevention Month. So usually at least 3 different things going on, and then a lot more publicly available visual information, like with the pinwheels and the flags, talking about the number of people we have served of the year. So it's been a lot quieter, from doing sort of public events. But like I said, we've been trying to make up for that by doing things like this and doing a lot more on social media and putting more on the website as well, trying to continue those connections, continue that community awareness, and by putting the proclamations out and having those read at county and city council meetings. So just again, shifting how we're getting the word out about it.
How can the community continue to help Hope Horizons during this time of quarantine?
The community can continue to help Hopeful Horizons, one, by knowing that we are still here, we're still providing services. We've changed the name of our 24-hour hotline, crisis line, to support line, because we want people to know that no matter what, we are here to assist survivors of child abuse, domestic violence, and sexual assault. So making sure that they're helping get the word out, that Hopeful Horizons is still there to provide assistance and help. And of course, we rely on the generosity of our community. We have a number of groups who are doing things like sewing face masks for staff and clients for when we're able to be meeting with folks more in person. So activities like that, and of course, generous financial contributions are always needed. We rely on the community to help provide all of the services that we offer free of charge. So those are ongoing needs for sure.
What is something you would hope the community would know after watching this interview?
That Hopeful Horizons is still here and we're still operating. It looks different than it did prior to March 18th, but we are still very much offering a full array of services for survivors of child abuse, domestic violence, and sexual assault. And we are preparing for the eventuality of getting a lot more calls from survivors when we're able to open our doors again. We know since a lot of people haven't been able to reach out for help while they've been quarantined with an abusive partner or loved one or parent, that hopefully, they will be able to reach out as we're able to venture out into the world again. So we are preparing our staff and our team to be able to respond to an increased need for assistance.
And what gives you hope during this difficult time?
Our amazing community gives me hope during this time for sure. And like we were talking about earlier, just the fact that so many people are thinking about survivors of child abuse, domestic violence, and sexual assault and what they must be going through right now, and reaching out to Hopeful Horizons to say, hey, how can I help? That's just amazing to me, that generosity of spirit and that kindness. So that, and how the community has really come together just overall to communicate about what we're doing and figure out things together. So it's been really amazing to see that happen.
Thank you so much for talking with me today, Kristin.
Thank you, CJ.